Morning, everybody. Don't let the sunny day fool you and the budding trees. Winter is back in Gettysburg. 36 degrees, and it's amazing how that be thrown at my. I've been yelled at by an old lady crossing the street. Slow down, you're going too fast. I'm in the crosswalk, something like that. And I'm like, geez, wow, it dips below 50 and people start getting cranky again. It was a rough winter. Good morning, Phil. How are you? Anyway, heading into work to finish editing this week's Ask a Guide. Oh, I do this to myself, man. I go, oh, here's an idea, and then I have to figure out how to do it. Sometimes I already know how to do it, but other times I don't, and I got to figure it out, and that adds 20 minutes to the editing time. But in the end, you get a product that you can be proud of, and nobody recognizes the amount of work that goes into it, or that it's even any good. So, everybody wins. Everybody wins. It's what we call life. John B., good morning to you. Yes, on the road again. Jeffrey says, hold on, let me turn my cruise control on here so I have the steering assist. Jeffrey says, morning, looks nice. Snowed in Buffalo last night and this morning. That is awful. Awful. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Good morning, James. Good morning, Jean. You also got some snow. Oof. Hoofa. Good morning, Don. He says, morning all. I recognize the work you put in and the great product you put out. Thank you, Don. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, there definitely are. I don't mean to say nobody does. That's not what I'm saying. It's just the, overall. People don't. Yeah, people do, and that's not just with me. It's just the way it works. We don't appreciate the amount of work that goes into things. We just consume. I was watching, what is it called? Adolescence on Netflix, and thank you, Phil, for the super gracias, amigo. Hold on a second. Let me just adjust this thing here a little bit. It seems to have loosened up. All right, there we go. So, Adolescence, it's like a 4-episode series on the flicks. And it's a British show. But if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw Brad Pitt was one of the executive producers. But that's okay. He's allowed to talk to British people. Relax, everybody. Anyway, it's a really heavy story. Kind of depressing, kind of very disturbing, very well acted by especially the kid who's the main character, but everybody does a really good job. You feel like you're watching a real family go through this stuff. But I think it was halfway through the first episode, I realized there wasn't, and I'm using quotey fingers, there wasn't one cut. There probably was. It was seamlessly hidden, but it has the appearance and the feeling of being a one-cut, 40-something minute show, which is certainly possible. I mean, that's kind of what a play is, right? But this, now you got to worry about camera, choreography, and all that. I don't know. And then the second episode comes along, same thing. Then the third, same thing. And I'm watching this and I go, do you realize they haven't made a cut in this? And Cindy just didn't say a word. And I don't think she knew really what I meant. I don't know. We didn't say anything. And then I realized, like, most people don't even notice this stuff and don't even appreciate it. Now, I'm interested in this stuff, so obviously I'm going to notice things. But think of all the things that we consume, that we use, that we patronize or whatever. And we don't realize, like, everybody looks, I'm driving through farm country now, and I look at these farms and I go, man, the money to buy one of these, right? Oh, how idyllic life would be. But you don't realize the amount of work that goes into making these nice looking farms look nice. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And if you're not doing it, then it's either not getting done or you're paying somebody else to do it. So it's, I don't know. There's just a lot. So it is nice when somebody recognizes it and appreciates it, but I certainly don't expect people to actually recognize and appreciate the amount of work that goes into things, because we recognize and appreciate the amount of work that goes into just about everything that we encounter every day. All of us, myself included. So it's very nice when people do that. So thank you for recognizing that and saying that. And I'll buy you a beer for saying that. Get yourself a free beer with a compliment. So once again, we are on Pumping Station Road, as we often do. There's other ways to come in, other detours I could take, but I like this one because it puts me on the south end of the battlefield. Just do a quick little drive through there and then head on into work, which I need to do. Okay, off to my right, Pickett's Charge. You should come out here when you're in town next time. It's near Sachs Bridge, so everybody loves Sachs Bridge. Go to Sachs Bridge, a couple miles down the road. Actually, I don't even think it's a couple. A little beyond that, and you'll find Pickett's Charge behind me. But also, right here, that barn, that is the famous barn where Longstreet went to visit General Hood in the movie. Backhanded compliments count toward a beer. Yeah, actually, I'll buy a scotch with those because they typically make me laugh. So yes. By the way, we had our first Addressing Gettysburg's Business Network mixer last night, and it was very well done. We'll talk about it on Thursday, but there were people there I've never met before, which was nice, and it was free, and people were like, you should do this once a month, and we were like, you're out of your freaking minds. Because it's free for you, but it cost us $500 something. But it was very good, very good, and it was nice to see everybody getting together. And some people were saying they appreciate that there was a mixer, and they didn't have to be a member of something to go to it. And I said, yes, that's the whole point. There's ways that, if this goes on, that we can have events that we would charge for, but, you don't have to be a member to get to know each other. It's the whole idea. Jeff says, not that you do this to show off your editing skills. I don't really have many, but I'd be interested in seeing a side-by-side before and after show. It would highlight the amount of editing. Well, you mean in addition to just showing you the amount of work that goes in by live streaming the editing? Or are you saying like, here's what it looked like when we pulled it out of the camera, and here's what it looked like in the final thing? Yeah, I mean, we could do that. I could also, yeah, I could do something like that. I don't know with what time, but that's why I do the live streams. It's like it's a one and done. You see it. And yesterday's was a good example of why it takes me so long to do everything, because there was an interruption, a visitor, and I had to visit with him. It was Stephen Lunsford. First time I ever met him. We had him on the show before, but I had never met him because he lives down yonder ways. I want to say Alabama or Georgia. Down somewhere down there, maybe one of the Carolinas. I don't know, deep south. And He was in town working on his Army of Northern Virginia order of battle books, which I can't wait for. So, of course, I got to spend a little time with him. And then I went out to his car because he had a couple of boxes full of books that he was going to offer to a used bookstore. But at first he came by and offered them to me. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take some books. So he had several books on Shiloh. And I go, you know what? I'm reading about another battle in another theater. Shiloh. Here we have a group of what we call students. Don says, I also wanted to mention one of the people on my tour a couple of weeks ago said he was a descendant of John Burns. I'm glad I had that monument. I was on my tour. Was he grumpy? Can you restart the stream? Yes, sure. Good morning, everybody. Don't be fooled by the beautiful sunny day and budding trees, but it's 36 degrees and winter has returned. I'm driving into, I don't know what I said after that. It is a beautiful sky today. It's beautiful as long as you don't step out into it. Then that biting cold just rips through you like a hot knife through butter. The cold is like a hot knife. He was a curmudgeon. Oh, let's see. It's 10 already, so I'm going to make this a short one here. So I'm not going to do the Hill of Culps. We're going to go straight to Bantam. Everyone was comparing him to the photos you had. Did he look like John Burns at all? Like, could you see any familial resemblance? Good morning, Barbara. So now we're driving on the Emmitsburg Road here through the middle of Pickett's Charge. And whatnot. I like Tom's question. How many flies are on the Burns descendant? Yeah, good question. Did you ask him if he was the descendant of the child that Burns supposedly sired with his, I think it was his stepdaughter, right? Not his daughter. It's still gross. Still highly inappropriate, but the bloodline isn't there. All right, and here we are, Bantam Roasters, where you can get your bag of little ground top and make your life a little bit worth living. All right, I'm going to get in there because I've got some editing to do. Patrons, you have the opportunity to take a nap at work by putting on the live stream of today's edit. I'm almost at the commercial break when I left off yesterday. And I pray to God I will finish the whole gall-darn thing today and post it for a live stream tonight. You guys have a good day until then. Bye-bye.